In the vastness of the universe, even before the emergence of the first living beings, death of the endless came into existence. An entity transcending the very idea of death, destined to guide all beings until their last breath. However, her journey goes beyond, as after the extinction of all life forms, she is destined to wrest the universe. 80,000 years ago, Death and the Endless went to the necropolis to prepare funeral rituals. However, the necropolitans, disillusioned with their role, were unaware of the prior agreement between the necropolis and the Endless. When they requested the ashes of despair and the ritual book, they were mocked. The Endless revoked the necropolis charter, condemning it to destruction. Thus, the village of Litharge emerged, granted a new charter by Death. In 1695, Destruction called a family meeting, announcing to Death and the others that he was abandoning his responsibilities forever. In September 1859, Dream made a bet with Despair regarding the power of dreams to save Joshua Norton from despair. Death expressed doubts about the morality of Dream's actions, questioning the games played by Despair, Desire, and Delirium. In January 1880, Emperor Norton I died, and Death took him. Among all the monarchs and leaders she guided to the afterlife, Norton stood out as her favorite. In the modern era, Death reunited with her brother Dream, reproaching him for not making contact after being freed from decades of imprisonment. She accompanied him in his tasks, providing him comfort. Upon hearing Element Girl's lamentations about her metamorphic existence, Death advised her to speak to Ra, the creator of metamorphs, seeking a merciful end. Following Death's advice, Element Girl spoke to Ra, leading to the end of her life. Death wished her better luck in her next existence. Destiny called a meeting of the Endless, revealing insights from a meeting with the Fates that led him to convene the family gathering. During the discussion, Desire provoked Dream by mentioning Nada. Death agreed with Desire, considering Dream's act of sending his beloved to hell a terrible thing. Dream vowed to redeem himself by saving Nada's soul. Dream sought Death's advice on what to do with hell. She trusted his ability to resolve the issue and, busy with souls freed by Lucifer when he abdicated hell, couldn't stay to chat. Death came to guide Charles Roland to the afterlife, but he refused to leave his friend Edwin Payne, already a ghost. Explaining that Payne was already a spirit released from hell by Lucifer, Death allowed Roland to remain as a ghost on Earth. Wanda Man, killed when Thessaly brought the moon to Earth, was taken by Death to the afterlife. Before departing, she allowed Wanda to bid farewell to her friend Barbie. Bernie Capax, an old friend of Destruction, was taken by Death. The search for Destruction caused the deaths of several friends when Dream and Delirium sought him. Dream sought Death's advice after ending his search for Destruction. Angry with Dream for his rudeness to Delirium, Death advised him to apologize to avoid Delirium leaving the Endless, similar to what Destruction did. In a parallel Earth, Death guided Prez to the afterlife. Unhappy with Prez's fate in the hands of Boss Smiley in that world's afterlife, she asked Dream to save Prez. Death perceived the truth in Dream's eyes, understanding that he allowed the escalation of the battle against the Kindly Ones because he wanted to leave the role of Dream of the Endless but couldn't abandon his post like Destruction did. With the arrival of the Kindly Ones, Dream allowed his own destruction to save the dreaming, and thus, Death welcomed Dream. Powers and abilities. Unique physiology. As one of the 7 Endless, Death is an inconceivably powerful being, embodying both death and life. Nigh omnipotence. Death possesses infinite powers unique to itself that other Endless members possess, transcending words. Gift of Death. Death can free a soul from a body and send it to its appropriate destination after death. Gift of Life. Death is also present at the time of birth, infusing life into a body at specific moments, granting a second chance, reincarnation. Immortality. Like all Endless, Death can only be harmed as allowed. If destroyed, her personality, memories, and powers are instantly transmitted to another aspect of herself, becoming the new embodiment of Death of the Endless. Magic. Death has limitless magical powers that other Endless members do not have. For example, she can create a wide variety of beautiful and terrifying objects and creatures at any time. Metamorphosis. Death's mind seems to be an omnipotent goddess who knows everything in general, but most of her mind has the mental power to see one by one how all living beings who die in any universes are reborn. Omniscience. Death's mind seems to be an omnipotent goddess who knows everything in general, but most of her mind has the mental power to see one by one how all living beings who die in any universes are reborn. Omnipresence. Teleportation. And thus, among the tapestries of the universe, Death of the Endless weaves her narrative, guiding souls in their eternal cycle. With that said, thank you for watching, and until next time.